Ladies and gentlemen, Governor Mike DeWine.
Isaacson, members of the General Assembly. Oop. No mic. You probably all heard me anyway, so. Justice of the Ohio Supreme Court, Attorney General David Yost, good to be with you. Treasurer Sprague, Auditor Faber, Lieutenant Governor Tressel. Members of our cabinet, my fellow citizens of Ohio. My first inaugural address, which I delivered in the beautiful rotunda of this historic state house, I promised to be the governor for all the people of our state, and that I would remember each and every day that I am their servant. That is what I've tried to do over these past 7 years, to remember that each day we serve the people of Ohio, and that our job is to do everything within our power to remove barriers, create opportunities, so that every single Ohio citizen can live up to their God-given potential. Whatever our administration has achieved has been with the help of so many people. My friend, Lieutenant Governor Tressel, reminds me how important it is to begin each day with an attitude of gratitude. And so it is with deep gratitude that I begin this speech today. With gratitude to all of you in the General Assembly, and to all who have served here in the two bodies in the last 8 years. I thank you. I thank you for your service. I thank you for your dedication to Ohio. Gratitude to my former Lieutenant Governor and current U.S. Senator and his wife, John and Tina Husted. We thank them for their tremendous service to our state and to our country. And gratitude to Jim, Ellen Tressel, who really took a leap of faith to join us in our mission to help all Ohioans succeed. I want to extend my gratitude to our cabinet and all their staffs. You have changed lives, you have served with excellence, you have made Ohio stronger, and I thank you. And I offer my gratitude to the troopers in our Ohio State Highway Patrol and to the members of our Ohio National Guard. You repeatedly step up when Ohioans need your help and when our fellow Americans need you. Today, more than 600 National Guard soldiers and airmen are deployed across the globe supporting our nation's interests. And they have helped our communities recover after severe ice storms and tornado outbreaks in Ohio. And they've supported our fellow Americans in Texas after last year's Guadalupe River tragedy, in Florida after Hurricane Milton, in North Carolina after Hurricane Helene. Both our Ohio State Highway Patrol and our National Guard have also deployed to Texas to keep our border secure, and they have worked with local law enforcement as well in Ohio to keep the public safe. And at this very moment, we have members of the Ohio National Guard along that border. When our nation's capital needed safety support, our National Guard once again answered the call. So we thank you. We thank you for your great service. Today, I also want to thank the Highway Patrol troopers who are in the Executive Protection Unit. You have sacrificed a lot. You have a tough job. But Fran and I will be forever grateful for what you have done. I also want to convey my gratitude to the staff of the governor's office, the lieutenant governor's office, and the governor's residence. None of us could get anything done if it were not for the extremely dedicated, hardworking, and loyal people on our teams. You have made a huge, huge difference. And most importantly, my gratitude to my wife, Fran, and to our family, many of whom are with us here today. You inspire me, you keep me going, and without you, I would be simply lost. Finally, I want to thank the citizens of Ohio for giving me the chance to serve as governor. Since 1803, only 64 Ohioans have had such an honor. In my first inaugural address, I also talked about my grandfather and how he planted trees late in his life, knowing really that he would not live to see them grow big and tall. But he planted them nonetheless because he believed in the future, because he believed in building a better world for generations to come. Just this past week, his great-grandson, our son John, finished tapping those same maple trees for the last time this year, something he does every year to produce maple syrup to sell and for our family to enjoy, the same trees. To the members of the General Assembly, we planted many trees together, and they are in fact growing. We have mandated the science of reading so that every child in the state of Ohio can learn to read. Together, we have banned cell phones in every Ohio classroom so teachers can teach and our children can learn. And because of our historic investments in moms and babies, last year we reached our lowest infant mortality rate in 20 years. We balanced the budget, cut taxes, increased the amount of money in the rainy day fund. And over the past 7 years, we've been strategically focused on making Ohio literally the go-to state in this country for business. And the progress we've made is truly remarkable. Last year, CNBC named Ohio as one of the top 5 states in the nation for business. And number one in all the Midwest. Just last week, Site Selection Magazine ranked Ohio as number 3 nationally for economic development projects and number 1 for attracting new business and investments to our mid-sized cities. Over the past few years, we've brought many companies to Ohio, and secured significant expansions of Ohio-based companies at the same time. Yet many of these businesses are just now starting to hire and to ramp up. We have planted the seeds. We are about to see the results. Here's just a few examples. Let's start with 3 of the many companies that we brought here from California. Anduril. Last week, Fran and I ate lunch with its founder, Palmer Luckey. What a guy. What an amazing person. His company is building our future defense industry right here in the state of Ohio. They plan on starting production this year and will build up to 4,000 well-paid employees in the next few years. Employees who will be making the world's most high-tech defense systems. Then there's Joby Aviation. They've already started producing propellers and will soon be building flying taxis. Flying taxis. Up to 2,000 Ohio workers will be employed. Amgen, Ohio's largest life science and pharmaceutical manufacturing facility, will soon be adding 350 more workers to package temperature-sensitive, life-saving drugs. Moving here from Nevada to grow in Ohio is Sierra Nevada Corporation, who just opened 2 hangars for high-end aircraft engineering and expects to open 2 more in the next month and add 350 more workers to modify military aircraft weapons. And the list goes on and on. We have not even begun to fully feel the economic impact of these victories yet. And what lies ahead is truly, truly going to be great. What we're seeing now is just the beginning. Because of our new Governor's Merit Scholarship, 85% of our top high school graduates are now staying in Ohio each year to go to college. This increasing the chances they will get a job in Ohio and stay in Ohio. In fact, each year, that's approximately 700 more of these students are enrolling in Ohio colleges than before we created these scholarships. 700 each year. With your help, we've also made a historic $500 million investment in Ohio's 32 Appalachian counties, supporting the people and places in Ohio who have been overlooked for far too long. This will improve access to health care, revitalizing historic downtown districts, transforming riverfront communities into destinations for recreation and for tourism. For the 3rd year in a row, unintentional drug overdoses have decreased, this time by an astounding 34%. And we have decreased the number of children in the custody of children's services by 13% and improved stability for families. Last year, our highest number of foster youth graduated from high school, helping them reach their full potential. Today, every Ohio child, no matter where they live, now has access to mobile mental health services. So if they're experiencing a mental health crisis, a trained professional will be at their door within 1 hour to help that child and to help their family, anywhere in the state of Ohio. And at least 50,000 Ohioans with developmental disabilities, they depend on direct support providers so they can enjoy maximum independent living and live up to their full potential.
Get this nigga out of office.
Budget that you passed last year and that I signed into law ensures that those vital support providers get paid a competitive wage and therefore can continue helping more Ohioans live fuller lives. Today, Ohio families can compare
Indeed.
nursing homes, They can compare nursing homes by using our nationally award-winning Nursing Home Navigator. This enables them to make more informed decisions about long-term care for themselves or for their loved ones.
Are we sure they're doing it, or they
From
kids?
the start of our administration, we have prioritized clean, safe water for Ohio families, bringing reliable drinking
data
water
centers putting
to
the
many
water back in.
communities that otherwise did not have it. Through our innovative H2 Ohio program, we've improved the quality of water in our rivers, in our streams, and in Lake Erie.
Lake
We've done it
Erie.
in Lake Erie and the other water by partnering with thousands of farmers to reduce nutrient runoff. And we built and restored hundreds of wetlands. And we should all take pride that because of many years of conservation efforts by many people, the trumpeter swan and the American bald eagle are now thriving once again in Ohio. And finally, Ohio's 76 state parks were just recognized as the best state park system in the entire country.
In the entire country. Look how happy he get when he says.
While we can be proud of all the things that we've accomplished together for our fellow Ohioans,
Bro, you ain't doing nothing for a while.
the state does have unfinished business. And I want to talk about that
I
now.
want to talk about that.
Let's begin with reading. Reading is the key to everything. So it's essential that children
but you cutting
learn
out the
early about the
education
importance
for
of
the
books
kids.
and reading.
Getting rid of
That's
DEI
why
school.
my bride, Ohio's First Lady, has made it her mission to get books into the hands of Ohio's youngest children at the most crucial time in their young lives.
Yeah, but
by
after
expanding Dolly
at the
Parton's
age of 5,
Imagination
they
Library
books in.
now into every single corner of the state of Ohio.
She ain't doing
Let me
enough. All that money they got in the rainy day fund. Bullshit.
Let me now introduce formally Ohio's First Lady, my bride friend.
My bride friend. They know who wear the drawers and that He looks so
Now-
mean.
During my first campaign for
I
governor,
think she'd be pegging him.
I remember her telling me, this is kind of the way she said it. If you get elected, kind of thought about that a little bit. If you get elected,
More people voted
I
for
want
weed
you-
than voted for
the thing that
DeWine.
I'm going to do is to grow the Dolly Parton Imagination Library so it's available to everybody. At the time, it was only available to a small number of Ohio children. So when she became First Lady, Fran got to work. And with your generous support in the legislature and the support of our local partner organizations, she has now taken Dolly Parton's Imagination Library statewide so that every child between birth and 5 can have access each month to a free book in the mail. With 70% of households with a child under 5 now receiving those books, Ohio continues to have the highest number of children enrolled in the entire country. This month, nearly 419,000 Ohio children will receive a book in the mail. And since the start of our administration, over 25 million Imagination Library books have been mailed to Ohio children.
Teachers can't afford to teach,
And there's
though.
more. Today, every one of Ohio's foster children under the age of 5 are now automatically enrolled in the program. Just in the last year, nearly 8,000 Ohio children who were in foster or kinship care received a book, and many times, many books. Not only that, today, Ohio remains the only state in America where parents can enroll their child at the hospital immediately at birth. Since last summer, when we started this new program, parents of more than 37,000 Ohio newborns have signed their child up right at the hospital. And finally, a groundbreaking new study on the impact of Dolly Parton's Imagination Library really confirms what we know anecdotally. Compared to children not enrolled in the program, those who receive these free books are 9 times more likely to be read to 4 or more days per week. They're 15 times more likely to want to read with a loved one. Children's early literacy skills are also significantly stronger in those who receive these books, if you compare to those who do not receive the books. Their understanding of
Invest in the
print
kids, man, and the
is 3
teachers.
times stronger. The vocabulary is 6 times stronger. Their ability to recognize and manipulate spoken sounds is 7 times stronger. These are all critical skills that help children learn how to read when they enter kindergarten and put them on a path to long-term success right from the very start. Now let's talk about the science of reading. I want to again thank you. I want to thank the members of the General Assembly for standing with us every step of the way to require that the science of reading be taught in every single classroom in the state of Ohio. The evidence is clear that the best way to teach children how to read is through the science of reading.
Ain't gonna be no more of that after March 20th.
We've watched dynamic and energetic teachers use it in over
DeWine
40
putting all the
schools
cannabis
where
money
we've been,
toward
120 classrooms across
so if we
Ohio.
don't get these
I will
signatures,
tell you,
no
see
against
a teacher
56 referendum,
teach
March 20th, we got
kids focused.
what's today, the
It's
10th? We got 10 days.
Incredible thing to see.
10 days.
One of the first schools we visited in 2023, Fran and I met
Need
a
over
truly
400,000
remarkable
signatures.
young man. Remarkable young man by the name of Liam Kramer. Liam was at that time a sophomore at Wapakoneta High School. Dyslexia had made it extremely challenging for him to read. No matter what teachers tried or what Liam did,
I gotta make it up to date, and I haven't
Liam,
been
by
up
the
to
way, a
event
very
date
intelligent person.
yet.
He never
And
made
it's
it.
Cincinnati.
He never was able truly to read.
Columbus don't be putting on enough events.
Made it when Liam started working, though, with a reading specialist, Nikki Barger, who taught him using the science of reading. Things really started to click.
Things really
Everything
started to
changed for
click.
Liam learned to read.
You know how many kids in
Learned to really
Ohio,
read.
bro? Let's see how many kids.
Now, since then, he's graduated from high school. He's got a job. He just showed Fran and me a picture of the house he owns. And he's planning for his next career move to operate his own truck and to haul livestock and other things. Liam
Better
says
be
the
hauling that
science of
weed.
reading changed his life. Please welcome in the gallery and give a hand to Liam Kramer and his former reading specialist, Nikki Barger.
There's one person out of the whole state.
Liam, we're very proud of you.
Shout out to Liam.
You know, our goal is that every child be taught by a teacher who's well conversant in the science of reading and who is committed to changing the culture and previous ways of teaching. While we're certainly making great progress,
No, we ain't.
this is really not easy.
No, we ain't.
Just think about it. We have over 3,500 public school buildings, and we have tens of thousands of classrooms. Training seasoned teachers who, through no fault of their own, were taught the wrong way and now have to learn new methods is certainly an exercise in perseverance. This shift we're making takes time.
So they was taught the wrong way how to
However, when
read.
you
That's
look at our
crazy. No
younger
wonder
students,
Ohio's slow as fuck.
We're starting with a clean
Motherfuckers
slate.
can't taught how
The
to read.
results, much like those from the Imagination Library study, are really outstanding and are really promising. We've extended our focus on the science of reading to our youngest learners. In 2024, we required our public preschool programs to use it and be informed by it. Every year, children in this state going from preschool to kindergarten take our kindergarten readiness assessment. This past fall, kindergarten readiness statewide in Ohio improved by 8.3%. This represents an additional 7,300 Ohio children who entered kindergarten ready to succeed. You know, certainly some of the most important people at Ohio colleges are those who prepare our future teachers. Because these future teachers will impact thousands, maybe tens of thousands of Ohio students throughout their careers, they must be trained in the best way to teach our children to read. The law that you passed requires all our teacher colleges, public and private, to train our future teachers exclusively in the science of reading. And so we recently completed an audit based upon that law, reviewing every teacher preparation program in Ohio. We are making good progress. Today, 2/3 of those colleges are aligned with the science of reading. And I have every confidence that every college will be in full compliance by the end of this year. If they aren't, Ohio law will require them to close their program. But I'm optimistic. You've done that. It's been a sea change. It makes a huge difference. So to all of you, congratulations on passing such an important law. It is having meaningful results. Our law is the toughest in the country. In fact, that's why people from across the country are now calling us, calling Ohio, because they too want to follow what they call the Ohio plan. We know that a complete transition to the science of reading is challenging, can't be achieved overnight. And so we're going to do the following 4 additional things to ensure that our kids are taught to read the right way. So today, I'm directing our Department of Education and Workforce to create regional science of reading instructional implementation teams. They will be made up of trained experts whose sole focus will be on helping K-12 schools to fully execute the science of reading in their classrooms. Even with the requirement in the law that the science of reading be taught in all Ohio classrooms, we're finding too many instances where our high-quality science of reading instructional materials are still on the shelf, in the wrapper, unopened, or that intervention materials are not being used correctly, if at all. It's not acceptable.
Not
And so
acceptable.
we will deploy those instructional implementation teams into our lowest performing schools. They'll conduct need assessments, and they will work with teachers and work with principals to make sure they have the right instructional materials, are using them appropriately, and are properly trained in the science of reading, and have the knowledge necessary to teach it in the classroom. Number 2, we will also send these teams to any school in the state of Ohio that wants it. Any school that wants assurance that they are effectively implementing the science of reading. We will assess their progress, we'll give them whatever help that they in fact need. Number 3, I'm further directing our Department of Education and Workforce to add 50 more Read Ohio coaches in the fall, extending their reach to at least 70 more schools. Currently, we have 97 coaches in 151 schools who work side by side with teachers to help them unleash the full power of the science of reading in their classroom, showing them how to teach it well, how to track each child's progress, and how to step in quickly with extra help when a student starts to fall behind. We know that Read Ohio coaching works. An example, look at Claymont Primary School in Uricksville in Tuscarawas County. At the beginning of this school year, only 14% of their kindergarten students were on track with their reading skills for their age. That's when their kindergarten teachers began working with Christy Hobson, a fully certified Read Ohio coach. Now, already, the number of kindergartners on track with their reading skills has jumped to 50%. And we expect those results to improve even more by this spring.
For sure.
Improvement like this in
That's
such a short period of time takes great coaches,
to work at a
strong
school
principals,
3%.
dedicated teachers. So please join me in recognizing Claymont Primary Read Ohio coach Christy Hobson, Principal Kelly Cook,
Ohio's in the
kindergarten
bad.
teacher Amber Roberts for their incredible work. Thank you all.
Second to California. Yeah, Devere, Braxton. We got some Ohio
And number
State
4,
boys in here.
to build a broader, more cost-effective coaching
About teaching.
pipeline,
I know, right?
also directing the
Teaching
department
facts,
today
history.
with the help of our education service centers across
Folks can't even afford
to
childcare.
offer free Read Ohio coaching
Most
training
folks
and
can't even
credentialing to
afford
literacy
childcare
coaches
right now.
who are already employed by the school district. With those additional credentials, they then will be able to train even more coaches at their schools.
They got all that money in the rainy day fund.
One of the biggest
that he was
barriers to
excited
children
about.
not learning to read is not being able to see clearly.
Well,
While
maybe
Ohio
kids
law
should be able to
requires
go
that
to
all grade
childcare.
school children in Ohio be screened to determine if they need a full eye exam.
Folks
Only
shouldn't
a
have to pay for
fraction of the
kindergarten.
kids who actually need one, only 1 in 4, receive one and get glasses if they need them. 1 in 4. Based on vision screening data from the Ohio elementary schools, every year approximately 37,000 children in grade
The charter school.
37,000 children in grades K through 3
School
are
is
referred
terrible.
for
I mean,
comprehensive eye exams.
when you think about it, like
Yet,
a lot of these kids,
shockingly,
especially
Of that
if you come
figure,
from a low
37,000,
income or poor
only
poor family,
29,000 of them,
say your family works,
29,000 of them
keep their
never
job.
receive an
Like
exam
school
or
is like
glasses if needed.
daycare, baby.
It's only 1 in 4
To do a lot of
receiving it.
educating outside.
Stunning. It's a scary number. When I learned it, I could
It's
not
struggle
believe it.
because, you know,
And so with your help
so late.
and your investment, we recently
Parents
launched
can't read.
Ohio C. Ohio C is a free, brand new children's eyesight pilot program for kids in kindergarten through 3rd grade in the 15 Ohio counties with the greatest
I
needs.
get it. Like,
Vision providers either bring a mobile vision van to the
I can
school,
only imagine if I
or
had
they will set
have
up
a
equipment in the school building so that
high
students can
quality
receive eye
education.
exams from an
I went to Catholic
optometrist
private
right there.
school in DC. I'm not even from
Then
Ohio.
if a child needs glasses, that child gets to pick their own frames,
So I was like,
their own
oh,
color,
it's different out here.
whatever they want to choose. And it's just great. In a few weeks, that van comes back and kids get fitted with their
Oh,
new
he done took
glasses.
his glasses off. But
Fran and I have visited 5 elementary schools in the past few weeks that are using this program. I will tell you, it's a pure joy to watch these kids.
there's
You
millions.
watch these kids put on their glasses for that very, very first time, and
Millions
they
of
can
kids.
see clearly. We recently
See
met
clearly now.
DeShawna
Is leaving.
Brown, a 2nd grader at Prairie Lincoln Elementary School right here in Columbus.
Gonna be a bright,
Here's what she said when she got her new
sunshiny
glasses.
day.
They helped me look at things much better. When I didn't have my glasses, I felt very confused. I was getting scared trying to read a book, and I didn't have anything to help me. Now the glasses help me see the small words, and I'm not scared anymore. No child should ever be scared to read because they can't see the words on the page. Today, I'm urging all public and private superintendents, all school leaders in those 15 counties to sign up your school to get this free help. Just send us an email. Send an email to Ohio C through the Ohio Department of Health at
Why they gotta see an
odh.ohio.gov.
email? Why can't you just do it?
And to all the superintendents,
Governor, bro.
all the principals, by doing this, you will truly, truly change lives.
So I gotta send you an email to get part of the program, which you the governor of the state.
Another
Send us an email. Have you ever tried to call the governor? He doesn't
Another
answer.
significant barrier to a child's future success is just not being in school. Last year, 1 of every 4 of our Ohio school children were chronically absent, which means they missed the equivalent of nearly 1 month of school. If we want our children to thrive, they need to be in school.
I love picture books too.
Students with good attendance are 3 times more likely to be proficient readers, nearly 4 times more likely to be proficient
We have
at
to teach
math,
kids how to use their
almost 12
imagination.
times more likely to graduate on time, and ultimately then to be
Be
much
creative
more
thinkers,
likely to get a
critical
job
thinkers.
after high school.
Don't just listen to what fucking
Chronic
old
absenteeism
dudes
is
be
not,
talking about.
though, just a school problem.
26.
This is a community problem. And it's going to take parents and whole communities to drive the solutions.
No, nigga, give us
I
our
want to tell
bread,
you about
man. I
what's
want
going
my
on in East Cleveland.
money.
By asking the right questions, East Cleveland school officials learned that many students were not skipping school because they didn't care. Rather, they were facing real barriers, transportation challenges,
I
health
ain't really
issues,
saying shit. I'm just
difficult
talking shit.
situations at home, and
Better?
on and on. So
Can you
the
hear me
district
now? Can you hear me now?
changed its approach. East Cleveland now uses attendance data to identify students at risk of chronic
I'm just talking
absenteeism.
shit, man.
If a student misses just a couple of days, staff reaches out immediately to the family to find out why and how the school can help, sometimes visiting families in their homes. They work to find the root causes of absenteeism.
Motherfuckers is
connect families
poor, bruh.
with resources, and they strengthen relationships.
People ain't
with
got
the community.
cars.
The results speak for
Sidewalks messed
themselves.
up.
East
Folks
Cleveland
that hit a
reduced chronic
pothole,
absenteeism
fuck
by
their
over
whole rim up.
10% last year. At the same
Just
time,
for a
reading
break
proficiency
job,
among
you know
the
what I mean?
third graders went up by more than 10%.
Kids is
Please
missing
join me
schools
in
is fucking
congratulating East Cleveland Superintendent Dr. Henry Pettigrew,
tragic. How many kids is getting bullied in school because their parents is poor? They can't,
and the
you know,
entire
buy
city
new
of East Cleveland.
shoes. There's so many different issues. That's why I can't do politics though either. But all of this. Like when you
Thank
look at
you.
the state, how
Thank
could
you
you
for your
possibly
commitment to
be
keeping
excited
kids
for
in
any of
school.
this? Like,
Congratulations. Great,
you're not one of the
job.
wealthiest people. Like, what?
I think every
I
school
got bread, but
can learn
still,
from
like,
East Cleveland. And it starts with having a plan.
people is fucked
That's
up.
why in our past budget, we included language to ensure that every school district in Ohio, starting this fall, will
The
be
homeless
required to have a
problem
clear
in
attendance
Columbus. I
policy.
mean, I go
This policy
pick
must
up
identify
homeless
students who
people
are at risk,
5 minutes
offer ways to step in early,
my
and
way.
work directly with families to understand and remove barriers to attendance, and increase the level of support for students who miss school.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Further, we know that having
Thanks for letting me know.
real-time data is always important. So today, I'm
Thanks for
announcing that
letting me
on
know.
April 15th,
I don't ever know unless you guys tell
the
me.
Department of
I can't
Education
hear
and
myself.
Workforce will launch a new statewide attendance dashboard.
I'm a moderator.
This new tool will provide
I'm a
parents,
solo
the public,
production
people in the
machine right
community
now. So y'all gotta
with
let me
simple,
know.
fast, and transparent attendance data.
Also,
each
thank you
week
guys for tuning
every
in, man. I
district
appreciate
for
y'all.
every.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in. As always, I mean, we've been growing the channel. We up to like 300 something subscribers on the YouTube channel. So just take a quick break to thank everybody who's tuned in over the last few months as I've been putting this work together. I mean, we've had a couple of pretty good interviews. I'll be doing more interviews as we keep, you know, building momentum and building the community. We'll keep hosting events. Like I said, I got the first event that I'm hosting personally in a while in person. So if you're in the Columbus, Ohio region or area, the Columbus, Ohio Social Equity Forum, April 4th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's a free event, community event, grassroots event. I do ask that you RSVP. You can get that link on our Facebook or Eventbrite. We do accept donations, and we are still seeking a few more community sponsors to help us, you know, put on the best event possible for the community. Again, this is just a networking opportunity. It's a panel opportunity to listen to people who have been in the field, people who have testified at the state level, people who have been working on the ground in certain aspects of the cannabis space. So looking forward to that event.
School. This will offer early information about the effectiveness of attendance strategies so that schools, districts, and communities can take actionable steps to improve attendance. Of course, improving school attendance is going to take more than data. Students have to want to go to school. For many students, Career tech is what lights up their world and keeps them in school. So I want to talk a little bit about career tech. I think this underscores your support, your invaluable support for career tech during the last 7 years. For example, together in 2023, we invested an additional $300 million to build new career tech facilities, expand existing ones, and allow schools to purchase new state-of-the-art equipment. These efforts are paying dividends. These efforts have opened up 10,000 new seats for career tech students in the state of Ohio. Now, but I also want to be candid with you. However, we still have, by last count, over 13,000 students on waiting lists for their preferred programs in Ohio. So we must continue pushing.
I appreciate the support.
More
I'm not the
opportunities
only
for
one, though.
students
Shout out to
who want
Ohio
pursue
Cannabis
career
Live.
tech. Not only will this help students discover their interests,
Anthony does a good
stay in
job
school,
over at Ohio Cannabis
but it will
Live,
also put them on a
covering the
pathway
cannabis
potentially
industry,
to a rewarding
and different things going
profitable
on.
career. Another way we're
What
keeping
else we
kids in
got?
school is by creating school-based health
It's
centers.
the only one that I
We now
know
have
like,
135
that's strictly
centers
like
across
Ohio
Ohio.
cannabis related
Thousands
news.
of children can access
Um,
into those clinics right on that
I just try to
school's
cover
campus,
Ohio cannabis
saving
stuff. I'll
thousands
cover
of
obviously
hours
other
of missed class
other
time.
states, but
Because of our investment in this past
I'm in
budget,
Ohio, so I try to.
even more will be
A lot of the
coming
news
very,
doesn't
very
make it,
soon.
so I try to get as much out there as possible,
Another
just so
issue that
that
we must
people are
address
aware
is
of
for
what's
every
going on.
Ohioan to reach their God-given potential.
And I do it in my spare time. It's not my
developing
full-time
healthy
job,
kids.
you know what I mean? So
In his 2024 book,
I try.
The Anxious Generation, Jonathan Haidt advocates not only for cell phone bans in schools, but also for restoring what he calls a play-based childhood.
Nope.
He argues
I'm
that
blowing you.
unstructured free play
You can hit
helps
me up. We'll
support a
link up.
child's mental health and the development of
I always
important life skills,
enjoy linking
such
up
as
with
creativity,
the supporters
collaboration,
and anywhere I can
resilience,
support you
and
all.
social skills. Now, an age-old form of unstructured play for children is recess.
Cannabis is about
But
community.
today, Ohio schools may count up to only two 15-minute recess periods for students in kindergarten through sixth grade as part of their school. That's simply not enough. Recess gives
Yeah,
children a
Anthony
chance
does
to get
he does a
outside
show
with their
every
kids.
Friday,
It increases their
420.
physical activity.
Um,
It improves their memory.
yeah, I mean, at
their
the beginning,
attention,
like he
their
was going to all the
concentration.
dispensaries
It
and
helps them stay on
openings and
task
stuff
while
like
they're in the
that.
classroom.
He also hosts
It
the Ohio
reduces
Cannabis
disruptive
Expo, which
behavior in the
this
classroom.
year will be in
It
Hilliard.
improves children's ability to learn how to share and negotiate. A lot
So,
of life skills. I want to commend Representative Tom Young, Melanie Miller, both of them, for the provision they've included in a bill that would double the amount of recess
Nice
time for
hash,
schools
nice.
from 30 minutes to 60 minutes per day, and would require these recess periods for all students in kindergarten.
man,
through
I
eighth
hate when
grade.
they do that.
Thank you for
That
your
little terrible blonde with the black eyebrows. That shit looks horrible.
Now, no one understands the importance of children being physically active more than Lieutenant Governor Jim Tressel.
That's why
What
they
a
have to go past
whirlwind
there.
of a year it has been for the Tressels. I really don't think they knew what was in store when Fran and I just showed up at their door and asked them to join this team. But I can tell you, we are sure glad that they did. Let me give a shout out to Mrs. Tressel, who is up by Fran in the gallery. Now, when Fran and I visited Tressel household, I'd asked Jim to do some things, some specifics. And then as I was walking out the door, I turned around and I asked him, can you come up with a challenge for our schools to promote physical fitness? You say, thought he could do that. Well, he did more than create a challenge. He has started a movement across the state of Ohio.
There ain't been no daggone movement.
So at the beginning of this school year, he launched Team Trestle Fitness Challenge to help students in grades 3 through 8 to build lifelong healthy habits around fitness, nutrition, and sleep, while also encouraging an attitude of gratitude during quiet times or periods of reflection. The energy, the enthusiasm that he and his all-star team of challenge captains have generated is absolutely remarkable. Today, more than 390,000 students in 1,300 schools across Ohio are participating in this challenge. The Lieutenant Governor has enlisted the help of former Ohio State Buckeye greats and legendary Ohio athletes to encourage students through the fitness challenge and to serve as role models. We're thrilled that a few of them have joined us today. Please give a round of applause to Braxton Miller. All right, now we got a few more here, guys. Just a few more here. Roy Hall, who gave the invocation, did a great job. DeVere Posey, Donnie Evage, Donnie, and Drew, and Melissa Basil. Thanks, guys. Lieutenant Governor and his challenge captains have visited over 100 schools across Ohio, holding pep rallies to show the kids how to do some of the exercises and to hear from students about their progress setting and achieving their health goals. Now, I hear, I've not
A lot of these kids live in food deserts.
Looking at some videos. I hear that the atmosphere of
Not
these
even
events
enough
is electric,
gyms.
and that many of you in this room have attended one of Lieutenant Governor
Too much processed
Fitness's
food.
challenge and assemblies, and you have maybe been a part of the down wall sits and planks and jumping jacks and
Doing
push-ups
some
and all that
outdoors, the strength I'm doing.
crazy stuff he does. It's great. We love it.
Black tangy. I like that black tangy.
But a few hundred third graders
all
are
fruit
counting their
swirl,
push-ups
nice.
out loud. That's
Yeah,
real
here we go.
accountability, right? It is indeed. And it turns out push-ups are bipartisan. Everyone struggles equally. Now,
If you weak,
if you have attended a team Trestle
DeWine
Fitness
don't look like
Challenge
he work out at all, boy.
All right, get this.
All right, look at this.
Now, I want to be careful how I say this, but by attending these assemblies, you showed students something very important. That's not really about being an athlete. It's about being the best version of you. And that's what really, truly matters. Just look at Braxton Manley, an 8th grader at Gibsonburg Middle School in Sandusky County. When Team Trestle came to his school and started the challenge, Braxton set a goal to run a full lap around the track without stopping, something he had never done before. Day after day, he practiced and he prepared, but most importantly, he didn't give up. He just kept going. When the day came,
They just be
for
clapping,
Braxton
boy.
to run that lap around the track, his entire class ran with him, cheering him on every step of the way. And not only did Braxton run that lap without stopping, the village of Gibsonburg named his whole class Citizens of the Year. Please welcome Braxton Manley, who is in the gallery today, and give him and his 8th grade class a round of applause. Hey, Braxton. Hey.
Yay, Braxton.
So this is what the Team Trestle Fitness Challenge is really about. It's about confidence, encouragement, and learning what we can all accomplish together.
Yeah, I don't
more
like
than
working
we
together
can ever
though.
do alone.
Y'all got all the money
We
and
need to
don't want to
build
give
on
none away,
Braxton's
bro.
example. What a great example. Members of the General Assembly, we ask you today to work with us
No.
to make this challenge, this movement really, a permanent opportunity for our students in Ohio, so that every child each year can discover how good it feels to become the best version of themselves. A child's mental health is equally important to their physical health.
Yeah, but if they in a poor
One of the most
community,
meaningful
dirty
things we've done
waters,
together is ban cell
fucking
phones in the K through 12 schools.
lead homes.
The culture change in our schools has been miraculous. Our children are interacting and talking with each other again. School lunchrooms are vibrant, echoing with laughter, loud. Our kids are getting their lives back. And so we all have to remain vigilant, ensuring that each and every one of our thousands of school buildings are really enforcing the cell phone ban. We know it makes a huge, huge difference. To do anything less, anything else, truly, truly lessens our children's ability to learn. But what is happening to our young people today goes beyond phones and schools. It's a larger issue about their access to screens and phones and social media and the internet when they're outside of the classroom. Just listen to these sobering statistics. In 1985, 35% of American teenagers said they read almost every day in their spare time, with only 15% reporting that they hardly ever read in their spare time. Today, that's completely reversed. Only 15%
What
of
we can
teenagers say
accomplish
they
with
read in
your
their spare
money.
time, and nearly 50% say they hardly ever
You
do.
learn on what I'm talking about.
So then,
I know, right?
what are they doing with their spare time? Well, I think we know. Increasing number of teens are using social media more than 7 hours a day. 7 hours a day. 59% of children say they have seen a violent video online this year. 60%
Yeah, you can just
say
look on the news for that, my G. We
17
bombing
teens
motherfuckers. What
say
are
they're
you talking about?
concerned about someone using AI to make inappropriate pictures of them. Excessive screen time is really a thief. Social media is a thief. All stealing from our children the most precious thing in life.
No, you
That is their
stealing from them.
time.
You stealing
Hours
from
on
them,
a cell
DeWine.
phone or an iPad or Chromebook is time our children are not outside
And
playing with their friends.
whole time we was just in
Time they're
COVID,
not
where they all had to be
getting
on
sleep,
phones and
time they're not
TV or
reading
in
books,
cell phones
times
and
they're not
tablets.
exercising or playing sports, times they're not learning real
Yeah,
social skills,
people can't afford it.
and so many of the other important skills that
Outside
would
don't be
help them
safe
live
no
up
more.
to their full potential. Kids grow up so fast.
That's 90% internet is
So
that's
fast.
right.
And this stolen time, these lost opportunities can never be recaptured. Now, most of the problems that I was just talking about
Again,
are
kids
best
can't be outside because the
circumstances
parents is
for
working.
parents. But there are things that we
The
as
air is
public
dirty, the
officials can do
water's
to help
dirty.
parents protect children. Things that we can do to help them protect these children. In fact, some
Oh,
of these things
DeWine.
can't be done without our actions.
Don't forget DeWine called us a bunch of whiners too for SB 56. He said, "Oh, you guys got what you wanted. You guys are just whining." Yeah, he thought we forgot, and we ain't forget.
So today I'm asking you to pass legislation to do the following things.
And just know he asked to pass legislation for SB 56.
Number one, pass legislation to make it illegal in the state of Ohio to possess, create, or distribute child pornography that is created by artificial intelligence, much like the bill that's sponsored by Senator Blessing and Senator Johnson. Thank you.
Oh, wow, that's probably the best thing they can do. Right? Modern Warfare 2. All the kids are playing Fortnite.
Number two, hold tech companies accountable Second bill, hold tech
Trying
companies
to. He
accountable
pretty much
for
did.
allowing their
We got 10
artificial
days. I don't know what
intelligences
them,
to encourage,
we gonna see.
assist, endorse, or instruct anyone, much less a child, to kill themselves, harm others, or kill others. Ohio law.
They swear they had the shit that, what's the joint that Donald Trump do? The State of the Union address. It's the mini version. Oh, we just gonna stand up every time. That's why I can't do politics. I'm gonna sit my ass down. I'll probably be there asleep. That's how I used to be in class. People always ask me, "Why you should go on for politics?" No, bruh. No, I'm not. I'm telling y'all. Maybe when I'm older. I'm 36, about to be 37 right now. I just don't have it in me. I'm not mature enough for that. Because I'm cracking jokes.
Ohio law
I'm calling people out.
needs real consequences connected
And I'm gutting all the losers. Gotta get out of here.
with it. The Ohio Attorney General and county prosecutors must have clear legal tools to hold these tech companies criminally and civilly accountable.
Well, you the one letting them in here. We got Meta, Google, all these AI joints.
We need that bill. Number three,
We need that bill.
I'm asking you to pass a law to require cell phone and tech companies to automatically implement parental control features to empower parents.
These tech companies, though, what's crazy is like the age is like 12 to get on these social media platforms. It might be, I think some of them even younger. Like you shouldn't even be allowed to get on these social media. You shouldn't even be allowed to download these social media platforms if you're not 18 or older, in my opinion.
Empower parents to easily monitor and control what content their kids are using, when they're using it, and for how long. Make it easy to do. But you know, this is not just about enacting new laws. There's so many other things that parents and our communities
Called
can
parental
do to help
accountability.
their children back to their childhoods.
As a parent, you should be
Something as
accountable
simple
for what
as
your
putting
child is
child's
doing if
phone
your
away
child
an
has
hour
a
before
cell
going to
phone.
sleep, which Lieutenant
I don't think
Governor
kids
Tressa
should
has
have
been
cell
urging
phones
children across the state to
at a
do
young
with this
age.
fitness challenge. That can be a good first step. Or parents can restrict their children's devices so they cannot have access to apps maybe between 10 and 6 a.m. Up to parents, not us.
Who look
But these
that's really
are
local?
two simple things. Pretty good way to start. You know, Fran and I were recently talking to a young English teacher, high school English teacher. He told us about the impact excessive screen time is having on his students and their lack
I'm
of
about to
interest
speed
in
up this
reading whole
time so we
books
can get through this show.
instead of just bite-sized passages. Here's what he said.
We got
I
about
truly think we've advanced too much in technology and need to
10
step back
minutes.
to a more analog model in almost every aspect of our daily life.
No, bro.
Now,
Yeah, well,
we can go
Ohio's
back
already
time if that helps
behind,
you.
bro.
But all of us as adults can work together to control this technology to better protect.
We can't work together. Y'all don't like working together.
As adults.
You went against the people. We voted for something. You went against it, but you want us to work together.
In 2022, standing in this very spot, I asked you to pass a bill strengthening distracted driving laws in Ohio. You did it.
Ohio.
Let's look at the results. If you compare the first 2 years of enforcement of this law to the 2 years before the enforcement began, Ohio has had 18,000 fewer crashes and 280 fewer traffic deaths. Thank you. Thank you for saving these lives.
Thank you for saving these lives.
We now have another opportunity, a great opportunity to save lives. We can do this with a primary seatbelt. We know that in states that have passed such a law, seatbelt compliance goes up and lives are saved. Right now, 35 states have a primary seatbelt law, including our neighbors in Indiana, our neighbors in Kentucky, our neighbors in Michigan, and our neighbors in West Virginia. And among the other 35 states, Florida, Texas, South Carolina, Georgia, Arkansas, Tennessee, and we could go on and on. We know these laws save lives. Let's look at another statistic.
So does cannabis.
Today, 88% of people in Ohio wear seatbelts. The 12% of the people in Ohio who don't wear seatbelts, though, represent more than 60% of those killed in car crashes. Let me repeat that.
Wear your
Only 12%
seatbelts.
of Ohioans do not wear seatbelts, yet they represent more than 60% of all the fatalities in car accidents.
That shit crazy. I don't know how you ride in the car without a seatbelt. Ain't no way, bro.
Picture this. In Ohio,
Most
under current
dangerous
law,
places in the
an
world,
officer
bro. Ain't no way I'm riding
does
without
not
no
have the
seatbelt.
authority to stop a car solely for seeing a child that's old enough to be out of a car seat who is crawling or jumping around unbuckled in the back seat.
I steady see people just letting their kids just walk around,
We must change the law.
flop
We must
around in the
change law
car.
to protect our children. Now, I know some of the
They
counter
be ready
arguments.
to get stand up.
And one of the arguments, of course, is that those
No, we're not
staying. Are just endangering themselves. But we all know that, and just hurting themselves. But we all know that's not really true. You've all likely seen the commercial with Lieutenant Governor Tressel, where he talks about the importance of wearing a seatbelt, not just to protect that person, not just to protect you.
Appreciate you for keeping us well informed. It's getting crazy. I try, man.
Commercial, you remember.
Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for the support.
Can be propelled into another passenger with 8
I'm
times
just
the
trying to
force
do
of
my
the
civic
running
duties,
at full
man.
speed. Unbelievable. Further, according to the Ohio Insurance Institute,
It's all free, you know what I mean? This is literally the Ohio
per year
Ohio channel.
through medical bills, lost productivity, property damage, and more. The vast majority of these costs are borne not by the unbelted person, but by all the rest of us. Those are the facts. Enacting a primary seatbelt law is about so much more than
Let's see
economic
what we got
losses,
about
or even the safety of those
4
who
minutes
are
left.
okay with risking their own lives by not wearing a seatbelt. It's about other things. It's about protecting families, communities, people who depend on us every single
Why
day.
does it matter if you wear a
Results of this
seatbelt?
driving
Don't
bill
drive like a
involves
dumbass.
a
Don't
great
care.
motivation. And we know that more people will buckle up if we pass it.
Yeah, but you can't control everybody, man.
Our Ohio Traffic Safety Office looked at data
I
from
know.
surrounding states with primary seatbelt laws, and they have calculated if
Shit
Ohio
get
were to
crazy
adopt
out
a
here.
stronger seatbelt law. The results that would result in increase in seatbelt use.
Motherfuckers be crashing in the buildings in Columbus like every day.
Each and every month. Passage of that
People
bill
can't
saves
drive.
lives each and every month, based on what we're seeing is happening in other states. These are mothers, these are fathers, these sisters, brothers, children, whose lives can be saved.
Shit,
People know that people who knew
a construction worker just got killed the other day from a hit and run. Like, it's
so they would
just
ask you, Dick,
deadly
when's
out
the best
here.
time to plant a tree? His answer was always the same. Now. Well then, now is the time to teach our kids to read. Now is the time to get our kids back into the classroom. Now is the time to protect our kids from the harms of too much screen time. Now is the time to commit to the physical and well-being of our kids through more recess and a permanent statewide fitness program. Now is the time. Now is the time to protect all Ohioans with a primary seatbelt law. Now is the time to do these things.
How about they put seatbelts on the buses?
When we see the seal of the great state of Ohio, we see a rising sun. That's what it is. It's not a setting sun. That rising sun represents hope. Hope for a future of unlimited possibilities. And we know that each tree that we plant represents that hope for the future. I will leave you with something Lieutenant Governor Tressel shared with me a few months ago. He told me that when he was leaving his legendary coaching days at Ohio State, a longtime mentor of his told him this, pulled him aside and told him this. Jim, your greatest accomplishments and your greatest days are ahead of you, if you believe they are. Well, I never believed more strongly that Ohio's greatest accomplishments and greatest days are truly ahead of us. The greatest days for our workers, the greatest days for our children, and the greatest days for every Ohio family. May God bless America. God bless Ohio. OH.
Thank you, Governor DeWine. The chair recognizes the President Pro Tem, Senator Reineke, for a motion.
Mr. President, I move that the joint convention adjourn.
Without objection, the joint convention is adjourned.
Well, there it is. State of Ohio. The state of the state. He brought up that, Ohio's doing great in business. Ohio's top 5. Let's see where Ohio ranks in healthcare. Let's see. You touch on this right here. Look. Ohio, Explore Ohio residents rated their experience with the healthcare system. C+. It's terrible. Cost, number 20. D+. Quality, number 11. C+. Access, number 5. C+. Number 11. I don't even know what this. Ohio Capital Journal. Ohio continues to rank terribly among the states from an economic from the economy to healthcare. Ohio continues to do terribly in nearly every way possible, according to the latest state rankings from the U.S. News and World Report. He ain't bring this up, huh? The Buckeye State slid 2 more spots in the report's latest rankings of 50 states, moving from number 36 in the last report to number 38 in the last iteration. In addition to ranking number 38 overall, Ohio also ranks number 41 in natural environment, number 41 in higher education, number 39 in economy, number 34 in healthcare, number 30 in crime and corrections, number 30 in education overall, number 30 in infrastructure, and number 25 in fiscal stability. Now, of course, this is 2025. This article is May 23rd, 2025, but still. Yeah, this is like, he didn't touch on none of that, did he? On only one metric opportunity does Ohio crack the top half of states at number 17. The U.S. News and World Report has been ranking the states since 2017, and Ohio has bounced around the bottom states in America that entire time. In 2017, we were number 35. In 2018, we dropped to number 40. The year of 2019 saw a roaring back to number 39. After no rankings in 2020, we came in at number 36 in 2021 and climbed mightily to number 34 in 2023 before dropping back down to number 36 last year and now number 38 this year. Before anyone starts howling with indignation about how horribly unfair and biased the U.S. News and World Report must be, I'll note that the number 1 ranked state for 3 years running is Utah, not exactly a bastion of crunchy liberal thinking. So no, these aren't politicized rankings. Ohio's elected leaders fully earned this pathetic spot for our state via their poisonous politics and terrible policies and priorities. Ohio politicians don't need to worry, though. Ohio voters seem determined to give them all endless free passes to do whatever they want, no matter how atrocious the outcomes or rampant the corruption. I assume their cushy careers will all be fine, no matter how terribly Ohio does by every available metric, as long as they put the right party label next to their name on the ballot, given whatever their geographic location. Actions don't matter. Outcomes don't matter. Rampant corruption doesn't matter. Only partisan politics matters, right? Let's take a look at some of those outcomes. On the issue of crime or for corrections outcomes, Ohio ranks number 46. On public safety, number 22. Our incarceration and juvenile incarceration rates are both above the national average, but the violent crime rate is below the national average. On the economy, what about white-collar crime? We don't talk about that, huh? On the economy, we rank number 30 for business environment. He was like, we rank number 5 in CNBC for new business or whatever. Number 43 for employment, number 36 for growth. Our venture capital investment, migration from other states, and job growth numbers all fall below the national average. In education, our pre-K through 12th ranks number 15th, while higher education ranks number 41. Our student debt at graduation is higher than the national average, but so are our high school graduation rates and math scores. Back in 2010, Ohio was ranked by Education Week as having the fifth best public school system in the nation. We've fallen far. The state lawmakers are looking at abandoning the fair school funding plan. So who knows what that will do. School districts are already struggling mightily, with Akron, for instance, looking at a $44 million worth of cuts, being number 15th in K through 12. Right now isn't a point of pride or reason for optimism. On fiscal stability, Ohio long-term outlook ranks number 16, most likely because we have around $3.7 billion sitting in the rainy day fund. The short-term outlook isn't so hot, though, ranking number 40 among the states, with our liquidity still well below the national average. Healthcare is all pretty terrible in Ohio. We rank number 40 in public health, number 36 in healthcare access, number 28 in healthcare quality. Access to healthcare is set to make an enormous tumble if President Trump and Republicans in Congress pass the enormous Medicaid cuts they want. I think that did happen. More than 1 in 4 Ohioans rely on Medicaid, including 40% of children, 20% of working age adults, and 10% of seniors. Hundreds of thousands of Ohioans stand to lose their health insurance under the Trump Republican cuts. Right now, about 8.4% of Ohioans don't have health insurance. That number is poised to skyrocket. Again, though, please rest assured, in case you were worried, the wealthy and well-connected will continue to do fabulously well. In infrastructure, at number 30 overall, Ohio ranks number 15th in transportation, but comes in at number 30 for internet access and number 32 for energy. On natural environment, we rank number 24 on air and water quality, but number 45 for pollution. As far as opportunity, Ohio is affordable, ranking number 16. However, things get worse when it comes to equality, ranking number 21. They fall off a cliff when it comes to economic opportunity, ranking at number 38. These rankings don't capture some of the things of note. For instance, 1.8 million Ohioans are food insecure. That's out of a population of 11.88 million people, which means more than 15% of our population is regularly going hungry. Data from Feeding America shows 1 in 5 Ohio children live in homes that are food insecure. Ohio is among the top 8 states for worst infant mortality. Taken all in all, while there might not be much opportunity to improve your lot in Ohio, at least it's a vaguely affordable place to stagnate in poverty. Damn. We might have a lot of infant deaths, low income, hungry children and families, a lack of healthcare access, poor public health outcomes, horrible pollution, pathetic corrections, a bad employment situation, a bad energy situation, dim prospects for growth, worsening higher education, and disinvestment from public schools. But at least we have middling prospects for long-term fiscal stability. Congratulations, Ohio. We're number 38. We are number 38. Winning, baby. So David DeWitt, Ohio Capital Journal editor-in-chief and opinion columnist David DeWitt has been covering government, politics, and policy in Ohio since 2007, including education, healthcare, crime and courts, poverty, state and local government, business, labor, energy and environment, and social issues. He has worked for the National Journal, the New York Observer, and the Athens News. He holds a bachelor's degree from Ohio University. You feel me? E.W. Scripps School of Journalism. It is a board member of the E.W. Scripps Society of Alumni in France. You know, OU's finest. Let's see. Work Ohio. Oh, man. I've driven for 13 hours straight, Ohio to Florida. That's a sad day. Nothing on weed. No, of course not. Why would he? The 20th is right around the corner. They did what they had to do with weed. They passed SB 56. That's what they did. That's the weed. That's the weed we need to talk about. I mean, I'm sorry if you were expecting him to say something about weed, but I wasn't. I mean, they pushed for SB 56 and they got it. And so I mean, SB 56 is going to be the law March 20th. I told you. It's March. See that? March 10th. March 20th, SB 56 goes into law. If you haven't been paying attention to what I've been talking about, SB 56 is going to completely gut issue 2. So again, you still can home grow. We have, you still have 12 plants. If you have 2 adults in the household, you can still grow 6 plants per adult, up to 12 plants, but it stops at 12 plants. You can't grow anything over 12 plants. You grow anything over 12 plants, that's where the criminal penalties and fines come into play. Again, SB 56, no public consumption. So even if you're in your car, even if you're parked, even if you're in the passenger seat, fines, criminal penalties, public consumption, walking around outside to consume, SB 56, that's now illegal. They also added discrimination language into SB 56. So, you know, a landlord can discriminate against you if you're consuming in an apartment or growing in an apartment. Healthcare facilities, if you're up for an organ transplant and you consume cannabis, they can discriminate against you and deny you an organ transplant. Employers can discriminate against you in random drug tests. If you fail the drug test, you get fired. You don't get access to your unemployment benefits. They're capping dispensaries at 400 with SB 56. I believe we're close to 200 dispensaries. They gutted the social equity fund. So we got part of the funds for the community fund is getting to the coming to state or coming to communities. But the other 36% that was supposed to go to social equity, community resources, stuff like that, is all going to the general fund. What else? Transporting cannabis outside of its original packaging. So obviously, if you're a home grower and you just so happen to put your stuff in a mason jar, right? That would be considered an original container to me, right? I mean, I grew this, so this is the original packaging. But, you know, obviously, if it doesn't come in a package like this from a dispensary, it's illegal. You have to transport your cannabis now in the trunk of your car. If you don't have a trunk, you have to put it in the furthest part of the car. What else? So those are some of the major things with SB 56. So again, that goes into law March 20th. Nobody's really telling y'all this, but I am. Don't say nobody told. Don't say I didn't tell you. Because again, they have. I mean, the referendum. There is a referendum out. So if they do get the signatures for the referendum, that will pause SB 56 until the petition language is put on the ballot for November. So then we would have to go vote. So again, make sure you guys are registered to vote. They've been clearing voter registration. So make sure you go check your voter registration. Make sure you're registered to vote. They are still collecting signatures. If you go to knowonsb56.com, you can find locations where they are collecting signatures. I just did an interview with Joey Elwood, who is one of the founders of Appalachian Girls Cannabis. He also sits on the committee for No on SB56, where we talked about, you know, some of these issues. So again, you know, I know people keep saying, well, we need a constitutional amendment. Well, bitch, put up the money for a constitutional amendment. It's like, no. Don't shoot me. I'm just a messenger. You know what I mean? I don't. It's all the money I got right here. Look. Look, I got some change. Look. But yeah, I mean, it's about to get real. So I mean, and I know as the weather's about to get nice. It's about to be springtime and people about to be doing festivals and outside. I know Cincinnati got they got a 420 joint. I know there's a couple festivals outside, and again, I don't know what that's gonna look like. You know what I mean? Like, because no public consumption. So my thing too, I know, I mean, I'm in Columbus, so I doubt like Columbus police will be tripping, right? But again, like I'm trying to help everybody out, right? Like I ain't gonna say like I'm be good. I got a crib, I got a backyard. Like I might have a little bonfire in my crib. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll invite some of y'all over. But you know what I mean? For the festival, some of these small towns, some of these small counties, be mindful, especially if you ain't got the complexion for the protection. I mean, some of y'all might be good. You know what I mean? Some of y'all got this complexion. Y'all be good. Everybody ain't got that though. Just being honest. Cannabis taxes could have added 2 million per county and 2 million for the elderly and 2 million for healthcare for low income. You telling me? You telling me? I mean, we done sold over what $4 billion in cannabis. Exactly, but that's what they don't understand. If you have lower taxes, more transactions will happen, meaning more money will start actually coming in. It'll be constant flow. They don't understand. I know. But also, we have to, I mean, we did do a video. I did do a video also on the MSOs and the lawsuit by the Attorney General, Dave Yost, which just a refresher, Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost did sue, I believe, 9 MSOs over basically creating a cartel, which essentially they were doing backroom deals for shelf space on dispensary shelves. They were doing backroom deals for discounts on products, which again kept prices high. It kept smaller growers off the shelves. Also kept smaller growers' prices high. So they would do basically what was happening was like the MSOs would do a discount day. Like they would email each other like, yo, we'll do a discount on this day. So then you do a discount. Well, then the Ohio craft growers, you know what I mean, or the smaller growers, their prices were higher. So, but this is why, we all have to be involved. You know what I mean? Like we all have to, like the stuff that I'm doing, like this is literally just, this has been like a passion project for the last few years because like I couldn't be truly engaged on like the ground floor in terms of like working in the cannabis industry because I've been a stay-at-home dad for the last 8 years. So this was a way for me to get involved in the industry without having to be in the industry, without going to work for a cultivator, processor, dispensary. I figured I'd get in on the media side because one, a lot of people don't understand like there's so much space in the cannabis industry outside of just growing, right? Like I'll leave the growing to the growers, but you need media, you need marketing and advertising, you need storytelling, you need PR. I mean, you just need so many different, you need education. So there's so many different parts of cannabis way outside of just smoking weed or growing weed. And so that's why I started Ohio Cannabis Report because it's like, look at the market. It's only 2 people that's heavily focused on Ohio cannabis news and industry stuff, which is me and Anthony and Ohio Cannabis Live. And so, it's tons of opportunity. Like, this is not an official business, but eventually, once we get a little bit of funding going, once I do a little bit more events, some of the proceeds from the event that I'm hosting April, some of those funds will go to help and support this. Columbus got like $4 million. So again, we having a social equity event. I invited a bunch of politicians. I know Cincinnati's doing something. They have a minority cannabis coalition. So hopefully, here in Columbus, we'll create some type of coalition to ensure that the funds and resources that is coming, goes to the right communities, right? Because again, I think people that have been boots on the ground, people who have been impacted by the war on drugs, prohibition, should definitely be able to receive funds and support, whether they want to get into the cannabis industry as a grower, processor, dispensary owner. Me personally, I have some connections in terms of growing, but I just know right now it's just, the constant overhead. Obviously we have an over-regulated market, you know what I mean? So it's just a lot going on. I don't mind doing the media. I like doing media. You know what I mean? I love interviews and meeting new people, conversations. I love putting the events together. Obviously, I would love to have a team. I would love to be able to pay a team to actually, do that type of work. But right now, it's just me, myself, and I, and my handy dandy MacBook. Oh yeah, shout out to the Smoking Word podcast. I went on there. I went down to Cincinnati on what was that? Sunday? I go to Cincinnati. I think it was Saturday. Sorry, last few days have been crazy. My kids have been sick. But yeah, Saturday went down to Cincinnati to do that podcast. So that was a good time with those young ladies. That was my first time being in Cincinnati for a minute. So shout out to everybody in Cincinnati. Had to go past the hell is real signs and shit like that. It's always fun. But shout out to the Cincinnati homies, man. Cincinnati homies definitely be doing it right. Make sure y'all come to y'all sign up for this is the flyer for the event. And then let me see. Just for content purposes. For the content purposes. Went past that sign. Blah, 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 blah. No, you can't. It's 6 per household. Yeah, I think Demore got it wrong though. I think it's still 12. Because he said the same thing on because Anthony emailed him too, or Anthony interviewed him too, but I think it's still 12. Because that was one of the things they were like, we didn't change that because one of the issues was like even with 12 plant, like people basically what they did was made the rule stricter that you can't grow over 12 plants because before you couldn't be prosecuted until you grew like 23 plants. So if you grew like 24 plants, that's when you could be prosecuted. Now they're trying to make it so that you can't grow over 12. It has to be 12 specifically. So I'll get back to you on that once I'll look up the information on the actual bill. But either way, it's a bunch of bullshit. Use a locking toolbox for your cannabis. I wish we could sign up online. It's 2026, right? I mean, that would be. You can sign the petitions though. I think you can download that shit yourself. I watched that. Money to be made. Did you pass $5 football in Jesus? $5 football in Jesus. What? Did you pass $5 football in Jesus? I don't know what that means. You gotta help me out on that one. Let me see if we got any more news. Any more news I can cover. DeWine emphasizes kids' safety, education policy. Ohio corruption trial traces tactics to prop up nuclear and coal plants. Nearly half of Ohio owners are paying more. I think this is a good article. I think this is a good one to share. Let's see. No presumptions for jail time until you go over 49 plants. Football. Oh, foot long, not football. Damn. Did you pass? Foot long. $5 foot long, did you? So let's read this little article real quick. Nearly half of Ohio's renters are paying more than they can afford on rent, new report shows. A new report shows nearly half of Ohio's 1.58 million renters are paying more than they can afford on rent, Ohio also has a shortage of 266,000 affordable and available rental units, the report shows. Of Ohio, it looked like they're trying to build all them shits in Columbus. Of Ohio's 422,998, of Ohio's 422,098 extremely low income renters, 73% of these households spend more than half of their income on rent, up from 66% 5 years ago, according to a 2026 gap report by the National Low Income Housing Coalition and the Coalition of Homelessness and Housing in Ohio. Quote, the data confirms that we hear what we hear all the time. Renters across the board are having more trouble paying rent, end quote. Ohio Coalition Executive Director Amy Regal said in a statement, quote, for people at the bottom of the pay scale, rent is gobbling up most of their paychecks. But this report shows that the rent Pac-Man is moving up the income ladder. Ohio has 37 affordable units available for every 100 extremely low income households, which earns less than $33,000 a year for a family of four, according to the report. Excuse me. Ohio has the seventh most extremely low income households behind California, New York, Texas, Florida, Illinois, and Pennsylvania, the report shows. Cincinnati has a reported shortage of nearly 55,000 units. Cleveland lacks 54,000 units, and Columbus has a shortage of 53,000 units. Cleveland's ratio of affordable units available to low income renters was 36 to 100, 32 to 100 in Cincinnati, and 27 to 100 units in Columbus. Affordable housing costs 30% or less of a person's gross income, according to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Quote, policymakers must focus on the most vulnerable, the hundreds of thousands of hardworking Ohioans who are living on the edge, where a sudden illness or car repair can lead to an eviction and potentially homelessness, Regal said. Quote, we need action. We look forward to working with elected officials to find a path out of this housing crisis, end quote. There were 11,759 people experiencing homelessness in Ohio in 2024, about a 3% increase, according to HUD. Nearly 80% of those experiencing homelessness in Ohio were sheltered, while the rest were unsheltered. The report shows no state has an adequate supply of affordable and available homes for the lowest income renters. The U.S. has a shortage of 7.2 million rental homes affordable and available to renters with extremely low incomes, and 35 affordable and available rental homes exist for every 100 extremely low income renter household, according to the report. Quote, when renters are housing cost burden, they cannot afford to cover other basic necessities such as food, healthcare, transportation, or childcare, end quote. NLIHC President and CEO Renee M. Willis said in a statement, Ohioans need to be making at least $22.51 an hour working a full-time job to be able to afford a, quote, modest, end quote, two-bedroom apartment, according to NLIHC and COHHIO's 2025 Out of Reach report. Ohio's minimum wage is $11 an hour for a non-tipped worker. And, you got to think about, the less fortunate, man. Like as an athlete, for me as a football player, right? If you have a team of 100 people and I'm a starter, I'm an All-American, in my mind, our team was only as good as our last player on the bench, right? So if we didn't win, the last guy on the bench didn't win. If I didn't win, nobody get the ring. You know what I mean? And so it's not cool for me to be like, oh, well, I'm doing well. Oh, my family is good. Oh, I have a house. I have a roof over my head. Oh, I have food to eat. Oh, I have a high earning income job. Oh, I have a high education with no student loan debt. Oh, I have multiple, grocery stores within a 5 to 10 minute drive, plus tons of other food options. Plus I could cook myself, right? Like, so again, like, I know it's easy to be selfish. I know it's a lot of people are like, I still got to get mine, you know what I mean? But it's like at some point, You gotta think about others too. That's why it irritates me that, these people be so rich, man. Like they be having millions of dollars. They be doing all these backroom deals with all these business leaders, patenting, they stock portfolios and getting kickbacks. New report shows Ramaswamy's tax plan will cause deep cuts. We'll talk about this since we do have a new governor's race, right? So obviously DeWine just gave his state of the state. This is his last term. And so whether, next we got Ramaswamy or Acton. New report shows Ramaswamy's tax plan will cause deep cuts and higher taxes for Ohio families. Ohio families are already struggling, and one gubernatorial candidate's tax plan would make things even worse. As we lay out in a new policy report for our organization, Innovation Ohio, Vivek Ramaswamy's tax plan would be devastating to Ohio communities. It would cut schools, healthcare, and other essential programs while giving a huge tax breaks to the wealthy. And just to make matters worse, it would likely lead to a big tax increases for most Ohioans. At the core of this dangerous proposal is Ramaswamy's promise to eliminate the income tax without hurting schools or other core services. It's a big promise, and it's a false one because it's just not possible. Ramaswamy's plan would leave $9.8 billion hole in the Ohio budget. You can't just make that kind of reduction without dramatic cuts elsewhere. Public schools would be the first and hardest hit. A proportional cut would come in at a more than $2.4 billion being taken away from Ohio's kids, a tenth of school funding in the state, which again, DeWine was just talking about, right? Helping the kids. But then you got this guy's going, and they're not even funding the kids like that for real. But we funding wealthy people, right? We're funding Andrew. Communities would be faced with an awful choice: make cuts to their kids' education or dramatically raise property taxes. What would those cuts look like? Bigger classroom sizes, buildings shuttered, fewer teachers, fewer services for kids with disabilities. Healthcare would also get slashed. Medicaid covers about 3 million Ohioans, including children, seniors, pregnant women, and people with disabilities. Ramaswamy's tax scheme would put them at risk of losing their health coverage. And because of the funding formula with the federal government, the losses would only multiply, sending nearly $2 back to Washington, D.C. for every state dollar cut, leading to further coverage cuts. The cuts just continue from there. Ohio colleges and universities, gutted. Local police and fire departments, defunded. And vital programs like child welfare, mental health, disability, and senior services would also face deep reductions. But it isn't just cuts. Most of us will actually see our taxes go up. The average worker may see about $100 a month in reduced income taxes under Ramaswamy's plan, but they'll get absolutely hammered with other taxes going up. To make up for all of these cuts, property taxes or sales taxes would have to skyrocket, ensuring that the burden will be carried by workers and middle-class Ohioans. The bottom line is that under Ramaswamy's plan, your taxes will go up. One group of Ohioans will do great under this plan, the super wealthy like Vivek Ramaswamy. They will see another huge tax break while the rest of us struggle with huge cuts to essential programs and services. To be clear, this isn't a new idea that Ramaswamy is pushing. Kansas tried this in 2012, and it was a spectacular failure. The state saw slower population growth, cuts to schools and highways, higher sales tax, credit rating downgrades. Things got so bad and so unpopular that the conservative state legislature actually undid the tax cuts a few years later. Vivek Ramaswamy's plan is simple, and Ohioans deserve to understand it. He'll cut taxes for the wealthy people like him, while gutting schools, cutting healthcare, and raising taxes on the rest of us. Ohio families keep getting forced to get by on less and less, while the rich get another tax handout. Vivek Ramaswamy lives in Upper Arlington, by the way. Average house sells for about $500,000. I think he lives in a $2 million home. Hold on, I'll look it to send you. Solid Rock Church on sorry. Solid Rock Church. A solid rock. Talking about. I got the babies in there. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. They on Rumble. Lebanon. What was you saying about images? Well, on the Google page. Oh, touchdown, Jesus. I didn't know Ohio had its own touchdown, Jesus. I'm about to open a cannabis-friendly church. That's what we need, a cannabis-friendly church. On Google Images, they had touchdown, Jesus. No, that's football. That's wild. Let's see what did y'all see this story though? Ohio State University President Ted Carter resigns over inappropriate relationship. Ohio State President Ted Carter resigned on Saturday because of an quote inappropriate relationship with someone seeking public resources to support her personal business, according to the university. The Ohio State University Board of Trustees accepted Carter's resignation on Monday. An interim president has yet to be named. Quote, for personal reasons, I have made a difficult decision to resign from my role as president of Ohio State University, Carter said in a statement. Quote, I disclosed to the Board of Trustees that I made a mistake in allowing inappropriate access to Ohio State leadership. I believe we have made much progress during my time at Ohio State, and I'm sorry I'm not able to remain your president longer, end quote. The Ohio State University Board of Trustees held a special meeting Saturday in executive session. Quote, the board was surprised and disappointed to learn that of this matter and takes the situation and its potential impact on the university very seriously, end quote. Ohio State University Board of Trustee Chair John Zeiger said in a letter Sunday accepting Carter's resignation, quote, we respect your decision and appreciate your cooperation in supporting an orderly leadership transition, end quote. Ohio State's Ohio Student Association Chapter President Sabrina I want to butcher her name. Estevez questioned the wording of Carter's resignation. Quote, it felt like they were playing word salad, end quote. She said, quote, it's just one more thing that we don't have clarity on. It just feels like another failure on the university's part, end quote. Carter was earning $1 million $1,189,732, according to the university. He took over as Ohio State's president in January 2024, following former Ohio State President Christina Johnson stepping down in 2023 after serving 2 years. Quote, the students, faculty, and staff of Ohio State deserve so much better than the failed leadership that has been inflicted on the institution over the years, end quote. The Ohio State's American Association of University Professors chapter said in a statement, quote, the repression of free speech, the dismantling of diversity, the lack of accountability to survivors, the list goes on and on. We demand a more transparent presidential search that involves the input of faculty, staff, and other university stakeholders. Carter's impact on Ohio State. Before he resigned, Carter had been dealing with student demands for accountability and transparency. Former wrestlers who were victims of sexual exploitation by the team doctor were demanding that the name of billionaire Les Wexner be removed from campus buildings over Wexner's ties to serial predator Jeffrey Epstein. Now the university faces accountability and transparency questions concerning Carter himself. Ohio State University spokesperson Ben Johnson was asked what the women with whom Carter had an inappropriate relationship received in the way of public resources. He was also asked whether the university was investigating the matter, whether its findings would be made public, and whether it would be referred to law enforcement. Quote, the university will investigate potential concerns regarding public resources, end quote. Johnson said in an email, quote, Ohio State has been and will continue to be transparent about this transition, end quote. Carter's resignation comes as the university has received more than 400 requests to remove Les Wexner's name from the university buildings because of his association with Epstein. Ohio State also continues to deal with litigation over the late Dr. Richard Strauss sexually abusing Ohio State students. The university has settled with 304 survivors who sued for more than $60 million, according to the university. Strauss sexually abused at least 177 male victims between 1979 and 1996 during his time as a physician for Ohio State's athletic department and at the university's Student Health Center, according to an independent investigation commissioned by the Ohio State University. Carter closed Ohio State's Office of Diversity and Inclusion and the Office of Student Life Center for Belonging and Social Change last March. Ohio State banned chalking on campus over the summer, and now all dorm decor in the common areas must be the Ohio State specific after a new state higher education law took effect over the summer, banning diversity efforts and regulating classroom discussions. Carter was Ohio State's president when 41 people were arrested at various Ohio State protests over the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza in spring 2024. Carter was Ohio State's 17th president. He previously served as president of the University of Nebraska from 2020 to 2023 and was the superintendent of the United States Naval Academy from 2014 to 2019 and was the president of the United States Naval War College. He graduated with a bachelor's degree from the United States Naval Academy in 1981 and served in the United States Navy. Chris Nichols, a history professor at Ohio State, was shocked to hear Carter resigning. Quote, there was no signal this was coming, end quote. He said, quote, Carter has talked a lot about shared values, but clearly didn't live up to them, end quote. Nichols and Estevez said Carter was rarely ever seen on campus. Quote, he was an inaccessible person, end quote, Estevez said, quote, no one saw him at career fairs or popping into classrooms, end quote. Nichols said he suspected some people on campus were celebrating Carter's resignation, but simultaneously deeply worried what will come next. Estevez and Nichols both want more transparency for the next college president search. Quote, if the university wants to do better with the next one, it must have transparent hiring process that honors shared governance, which includes the input from faculty, AAUP, Ohio Conference Executive Director Jennifer Tissom Price said in a statement, quote, shared governance isn't just a bureaucratic necessity or nicety, it's how universities stay honest, end quote. Nichols hopes the next president has an advanced degree. Carter did not have an advanced degree, a rarity for a college president. Quote, more advanced degrees show they have been committed to more education and hopefully more research and teaching, he said. Interesting. Husted can't testify in person in corruption trial due to Iran war, but came to Ohio for a fundraiser. Husted team denies Iran played into decision and will still testify virtually. U.S. Senator John Husted can't leave Washington, D.C. to testify in the largest public corruption trial in Ohio history due to Iran war, the defense attorney said, but did find time to return to the state to attend a fundraiser. The senator's team understands the poor optics, they said, but argued that the virtual testimony is due to scheduling conflicts. For the past 5 weeks, the state has made its case that former First Energy CEO Chuck Jones and VP Mike Dowling paid former Public Utilities Commission Chair Sam Randazzo $4.3 million in bribes, along with $61 million spent to create and pass Ohio House Bill 6. HB 6 was legislation to provide a $1 billion bailout to their struggling nuclear facilities, all at the expense of Ohio ratepayers. In March 2023, a federal jury found the former Ohio House Speaker Larry Householder and former GOP leader Matt Borges, beyond a reasonable doubt, participated in this racketeering scheme that has now left 4 men guilty and 2 dead by suicide. So they say. Householder is nearly 3 years into his 20-year prison sentence for accepting the bribe from First Energy, while Borges is out after serving half of his 5-year sentence. For years, we have been uncovering the close ties between First Energy and major political players. Our previous investigations have shown that First Energy executives say that Lieutenant Governor John Husted worked closely with them to pass HB 6 in 2019 after they helped fund his campaign. We asked Husted in February what he has to say as the trial is going on and whether he is prepared to testify. Quote, I wanted to save the nuclear power plants, and I was right about that because if we didn't have those nuclear power plants today, energy prices in Ohio would be skyrocketing out of control. They are, my buddy. My boy, Husted replied, quote, I was focused on trying to save those nuclear power plants, and thankfully they didn't close, and it was my job. My job is to work with the people who are making those decisions, and I am proud of the work I did, end quote. Husted has not been accused of any wrongdoing and was set to be a defense witness on Friday, March 13th. Quote, if I'm asked to help out with anything, I'll always do that, end quote, Husted said. But the senator's testimony won't be at the Summit County Court of Common Pleas. It will be hundreds of miles away. Quote, given the war, his availability is not great. Dowling's defense attorney, Steve Grimes, said in court, quote, we have spoken with his counsel. Given everything that's going on in the world, we don't feel that he can or should insist upon him leaving his post in Washington, D.C. right now. Judge Susan Baker Ross approved Husted to be virtually available due to the U.S. military campaign against Iran. Grimes said it would be Friday. Husted takes flight. Both the House and Senate already voted to reject resolutions to restrict President Donald Trump's powers in the fight with Iran, meaning that he can continue his attacks. After this, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth decided to travel to Florida for a conference, and other executive officials flew to their home states for the weekend. But Husted, who doesn't sit on any committees related to safety, military, or foreign affairs, can't find time to return to Ohio to testify, according to Grimes and the defense. Well, he did return to Ohio. Quote, Senator Husted, are you flying home to testify? End quote. A woman can be heard asking in a cell phone video. The woman who does not work for an Ohio politician or candidate showed the senator getting into a security line at Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport in D.C. this past Thursday. In another video sent to us, a man found Husted walking in John Glenn Columbus International Airport the same evening. The senator ignored the Ohioan, who repeatedly asked about First Energy. We discovered that the senator was set to attend a fundraiser on Friday. Husted was listed as a keynote speaker at the Greene County Republican Party Lincoln Day dinner, where tickets were up to $1,000. Quote, he should explain to Ohioans what he means by unavailable or dealing with the war, if he's in fact here in the state raising money for his embattled Senate campaign, end quote. State Senator Casey Weinstein, Democrat from Hudson, said, quote, it's despicable and I can't think of a more significant breach of trust, end quote. Weinstein was a state witness in the trial and believes that Husted just doesn't want to deal with the publicity. Quote, I'm not surprised he doesn't want to show up in person, end quote. The lawmaker said, quote, he's so deeply intertwined in this whole case, but it's incredibly disappointing, end quote. We've reached out to Husted's team. The deputy chief of staff, Josh Eck, disputed the defense attorneys. Husted on the virtual stand, quote, our team never said that the senator needed to stay in Washington to monitor the war, Eck said. Those words came from the defense counsel, and I'll just leave it at that. Grimes, while on a break during the trial, answered our call, quote, I only talked with his representatives, and what I said in court is based on my conversations, and you can quote me on that, end quote, Grimes said. Husted has never missed a vote in the Senate and doesn't want to start, Eck said. Quote, if he gets called for a vote, he gets called for a vote. So we did suggest that we were open to potentially testifying virtually, he added. Husted offered many dates in person. The staffer continued, but none of them worked for the changing trial schedule. We asked for documentation that they offered multiple times in person and never brought up the war, but didn't receive it. Quote, nobody wishes more than us that we could spend more time in Ohio, end quote, Eck said. Quote, the senator has been an elected official in Ohio and based out of Ohio for a while, but this responsibility requires us to be in the Senate chamber when called upon. Husted can cast votes and also support, quote, the justice system, end quote, at the same time, Eck continued. Case Western Reserve University business law professor Eric Chaffee said that he understands why Husted could be reluctant to testify in person. Quote, when you're trying to get elected, being associated with what's one of, if not the largest bribery scandal in the history of the state, it's something that's really kind of a bad look, Chaffee said. The nonpartisan expert added that it doesn't help Husted's credibility that he is already in town. Quote, it's surprising that you would come to Ohio for purposes of a fundraiser, but not to do your public duty to be a part of a trial, end quote, he said. Even if it's more beneficial for Husted to testify without the press hounding him after, the optics of coming back to Ohio don't look great. Husted's team was asked whether a GOP fundraiser dinner is more important than testifying in person. Quote, absolutely not, end quote, X responded, quote, I don't think anybody's surprised to hear that an elected official that's going to be on the ballot in a couple of months has to raise money for that race, but that has never been his priority. But why couldn't he be in person for next Friday when Congress didn't have any votes? Quote, we potentially could have, end quote, X said. Several hours after we reached out to Husted's team with questions, X said that the testimony had just been moved from Friday to Wednesday, when he does have to take votes in Senate. Egg denied that the schedule change was due to our inquiries. Woo, a lot of reading. I need to clean house for sure. Great ties to Epstein. It's all connected. That's not concerned. All right, y'all, I'm about to get ready for bed, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in for another live episode, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Substack. Where else we at? Facebook. Did I say Facebook? We on Threads as well. So again, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Again, we over 2 hours. We just did the state of the state with the governor. How y'all think the state? How y'all feel about the state? Let me know. That's be the last thing. How do y'all feel about the state? How are we doing in the state of Ohio? Y'all doing good? Y'all good? I know the weed community ain't happy. Ooh. Not great. Could be doing better, huh? Could be doing better. All right, man. Peace and love.